Hello and welcome to Go-To Tech Reviews. Today we are going to take a look at a new budget gaming case from Rosewill known as the Magnetar. It's targeted for budget-oriented new system builders that is easy to build in. Coming in at around $70 US, it's entering a very crowded and competitive budget gaming case market. But does it have enough to stand out? Let's go ahead and find out. Let's start by removing the side panel, which is held on by thumb screws that are unfortunately not retainable. The side comes off pretty easily, and I also found the panel to be a little flimsier than I would have liked personally, though this isn't too uncommon, especially in this price category with acrylic windows. The interior layout is very spacious and supports mini ITX, micro ATX, and ATX motherboards. I would have liked to have seen rubber grommets for the main cable cutouts for a cleaner look when the build is finished, but at this price point it is easy to overlook. It just would have been nice. One of the space-saving techniques Rosewill uses here is having two 2.5-inch toolless drive mounts in the front. However, they require a screwdriver to remove, which I found to be a little bit baffling, seeing that this should have two thumb screws to be truly toolless. The Magnetar comes with two blue LED 120mm fans for intake, which is awesome. There is also a 5 1/4 drive bay for those of you still clinging on to dear life to your DVD and Blu-ray drives. While I understand why the LED fans use Molex for the LEDs, which is to maintain the same brightness regardless of fan RPM, I still find it odd that we are still using Molex cables in 2017, and I think they still need to die a swift, painful death. There is also a 120mm black fan included for exhaust, thankfully no Molex this time. There's also room for a standard ATX PSU at the bottom as well. Along the back we see support for 7 PCIe expansion slots and support for 120mm exhaust fan. For front I/O, we have a pair of USB 2.0 ports, mic and headphone jacks, a single USB 3.0 port, and a reset and start button. Moving to the back, the side panel is much like the front side panel, and that is removed by two thumb screws which are not retainable also. The back side panel has a little more rigidity, but that's likely due to there not being a side panel window there. The back is pretty standard fare with the usual cutouts for CPU coolers, mounts for various drives, and points for cable management ties. The CPU cooler cutout is large and should support any type of cooler with easy access. There are also cutouts in the upper right for your 8-pin EPS power cables as well. One thing I really appreciate here is the amount of space for the cable management in the back. Here you can see the gap between the back plate and back side panel, which is about 2 fingers deep. I found this especially easy to close when I had all the cables stuffed back in there when I was done with the build. In the back there are also two 3.5-inch and a 2.5-inch toolless drive mount with the same lack of thumb screw oversight as the front. I am glad they figured out a way to have the larger 3.5-inch drives tucked in the back instead of in a rack in the front interior. Just allows for more airflow and just looks tidier. The front panel is easily removed, but be careful as the front panel I/O cable is attached to it. While the front technically has a filter in the front, it's not very good as it's not magnetic and is held in very flimsily. I would have liked to have seen this more easily removable and cleanable, honestly. The front can accommodate a 240mm radiator or 220mm fans. However, due to what I think is the killer feature of this case, which is the removable 5 1/4-inch drive bay, you can install up to a 360mm radiator or 320mm fans. There's even enough for a push-pull setup if you desired, which leaves plenty of options for upgradability in the future. Very impressive. The top is about as plain can be. It would have been nice to see an additional 120mm fan exhaust here though. Again, not a must-have, but a nice to have in this case. Finally, underneath we have a nice removable dust filter for the power supply intake. Let's go ahead and do a quick build in the Rosewill Magnetar and see how it goes. Overall, this was a very easy case to build in and very beginner friendly. You can have a great looking build too with a lot of room for future upgrades. But at $70 it's a tough sell, especially against case offerings from Fantex where if you just spend $10 more, you can get cleaner cable management, a power supply shroud, and tempered glass. If you're an experienced do-it-yourselfer and can afford the extra $10 to $30, there are definitely more robust offerings out there. But if you are a beginner with a strict budget and want one of the easiest cases to build in with minimal fuss and want future expandability, then this case would work very well for you. If you like this video, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow me at Twitter at GoToTechReviews for more up-to-date news. As always, thanks for watching and we will catch you in the next video.